an attack on an Asian woman right here in Center City. It was around the corner from Reading Terminal and blocks from Chinatown. Philly police say this was not racially motivated, but the assault happens weeks after several other crimes against Asian Americans in different parts of our country, including that mass shooting which killed 6 Asian women. NBC 10's Brandon Hudson learned for some local advocates against anti-Asian hate that this hits much too close to home.
Part of what strikes you is just the casualness of the attack. The fact that someone's just walking down the street, assaults someone, and then just casually strolls away as if nothing had occurred.
A bold attack on a busy Center City street in the middle of the day on Easter Sunday. The victim was a 27-year-old woman of Asian descent.
It's almost as if they don't realize it's a human being that they're attacking.
The surveillance video strikes a nerve for Dr. Karen Tang, a second-generation Chinese-American who once worked in hospitals in that area. Dr. Tang says Sunday's incident reminds her of a recent attack also caught on surveillance camera in New York City. In that case, the suspect was charged with a hate crime. Philadelphia cops say the Philadelphia assault wasn't racially motivated.
You don't have to have someone, verbalizing that it's a racially motivated attack. If it seems like the person who is being attacked is Asian and everybody else surrounding is not.
Also, in this Philly attack, strangers stopped to check on the victim. Moments after someone flagged down a police SUV, that officer later arrested the suspect, who investigators say is 30-year-old Alex White, a homeless man.
I do thank the people who were bystanders in this case for your quick action and your compassion.
Good for those people for stepping in and saying something.
The suspect is charged with simple assault. The incident is still under investigation. In Center City, Brandon Hudson, NBC 10 News.
And NBC 10's recent Philly special takes a closer look at discrimination against Asian Americans in our community. You can watch anytime at NBC10.com/race101.
Well, this event is still under investigation. So right now, Philly police are not willing to call this a race-related, a hate crime, or anti-Asian attack. But I say, just give them some time. By the time they conclude their investigation, I'm sure they'll conclude that this was an anti-Asian attack, because when you attack an Asian person in this country, it's an anti-Asian attack. And there's no need to go to the gun memorial. Usually in these cases, I go to the gun memorial for the city. And in Philly, there's no need. We've done that so many times here. Every single person on the gun memorial. Well, you know what? The hell with it. Let's just do it. Look at these people. This is the Philly gun memorial. Look at the ages. Look at all the ages of these people. These are young people, man. These are little kids, man. And there's one group that you will not see on this list. Okay? There's one group you will not see on this list. This is everybody attacked to death in Philly. All these people were attacked to death. There's one group you won't see. Just look at this, man. All these people were attacked to death with guns. Okay, so here's an interesting case from Atlanta. Crime Stoppers, they want help to find a man who savagely beat woman nearly to death. Okay. I want to help. Raise your hand if you want to help. Hit 1 if you want to help. I want to help. So let's see what happened. A woman wants the man who beat her to the brink of death to be put away in prison before he can do it again to someone else. Oh man, yeah, we gotta stop this guy. Channel 2 Action News and the Atlanta Police Foundation are teaming up to help bring down criminals. Every week we intend to bring you stories involving Crime Stoppers in Atlanta. All right. It was in March when a man broke into Lisa Holland's home and began to beat her. Channel 2's Darren Moore spoke to the victim, who said she hopes the Cobb County detectives working the case will track down the man who tried to kill her. All right, cool. I got a bunch of ones in my comment section. We're going to try to track the guy down. Give us a description. All right, guys, ready for the description? He was tall. He was real tall. Okay. Broad shoulders. All right. Dark clothes. And he just immediately threw me down on the floor. So, we're looking for a man who was real tall, had broad shoulders, and dark clothes. Got it, guys? Everybody got it? All right. So if you see a guy who's really tall, has broad shoulders, and is wearing dark... I ain't do it. I promise you I didn't do it. It wasn't me. But it would be interesting. It would be a little bit more helpful if she gave us some more descriptors to describe the person. Do you guys have any suggestions on any other kind of descriptors that would help us find this guy, other than the fact that he's really tall, has broad shoulders, and dark clothes? I'm feeling like I need a little bit more, just a little bit more, some more descriptive things about this guy before, we can hit the streets and start looking for him. So anyway, this woman, her face was blackened and bruised for weeks after the beating. I looked pretty scary for a while there, Holland said. She's alive and recovering from her injuries and getting better. Some of this is still numb from nerve damage, she said. Holland didn't mind retelling her story and reliving the attack. She said, using his left hand, he was strangling me, and he was behind me. I couldn't see him. Holland said, he kept saying, I'm going to kill you if you don't cooperate. She thought it was the end. I said, this is my last day on earth. I'm not going to come out of this alive. The man only took her personal cell phone. She felt her attacker had other motives. She really truly believed that he intended to kill her. Holland said she's getting frustrated with the investigation. Two DeKalb County detectives are working the case. Well, I mean, look. You asked for it, okay? You asked for the police to be defunded. They're defunded. They don't have as many cops. You got two on your case. Okay? Tired of people complaining about the cops. Y'all asked for y'all told them to get lost. She said, I feel like they are not pushing into this because I don't want this to happen again, and it's scary to know that he's out here. Well, listen, you really didn't give us any help. We're trying to help you out. Miss Holland. All we know is that he's a really tall guy with broad shoulders and dark clothing. Is there anything else that's dark or light? Like, can we get a little bit more descriptions? Crime Stoppers Atlanta is offering a $5,000 reward for arrest and conviction of the attacker.
I mean, look at that smile. You might remember the sweet little face. She's the baby police say a teenager kidnapped a few weeks ago in DeKalb County. Channel 2 Sophia Choi went to visit baby royalty and her mom to see how they're faring after that horrific ordeal. And Nuisance 4 Sophia, you learned what that baby's mom wants to happen to the teenager accused of taking the daughter.
Yeah, Elizabeth Grisby says she hopes the teen turns his life around, but she still wants him to face charges for what he did to her and to her baby. Royalty Grisby shows no signs of the trauma she recently faced as she plays outside her DeKalb County home.
You wouldn't even think that anything happened. She acts exactly the same.
Police say a 14-year-old kidnapped Royalty after luring her mom to a Stone Mountain home in March by posing as a DoorDash customer. The teen then stole the family SUV with the 18-month-old in the back. 12 long hours later, mom and baby reunited after a Good Samaritan found Royalty on a porch in Lithonia.
I'm glad that my daughter's okay, but I hope that he learns from this. He's young, so he has a chance to change his life around.
Police charged 14-year-old Malachi Richardson as an adult with kidnapping and theft by taking. Charges Royalty's mom says he needs to face.
Okay. So our friend Malachi, the teen, how many of y'all think he gonna face any real charges considering what he did? Who thinks he's gonna face any real charges? Now you guys see he's been charged as an adult as of now. But we don't know how long that will last. But he's been charged as an adult, so that's good. Just a quick update on the girls from DC that killed that Uber driver. They got a special plea deal and they won't be in jail past the age of 21. Which is what I told you. I told you that was going to happen. I'm not surprised. I don't feel any way about it. I'm not bummed out about it. Whatever. They gotta go to jail until they're 21. This is what we voted for. If I'm another kid on the streets of DC and I'm thinking about doing a carjacking or the streets of New Orleans or the streets of Atlanta or the streets of any city in this country, I can come home by the time I'm 21. Yeah, that sucks, but I mean, they can't keep me past 21, and I'm a criminal. Like, I'm not just some kid. Like, I'm a kid who does this, gets arrested for carjacking, like, process booked, taken to jail, gets out and does it again, process booked, taken to jail, gets out, done. I'm a criminal. I'm not just a kid. That ain't bad. That's not a bad deal. I'm sure most adult criminals, if the most you could keep them in the jail was 5 or 6 years for whatever crime they committed, whether they killed somebody or traumatized somebody or kidnapped a baby. If I was an adult and I was into a life of crime and they said, okay, we can't keep you for any more than 5 or 6 years, I take it.
I'm glad that my daughter's okay, but I hope that he learns from this. He's young, so he has a chance to change his life around.
Police charged 14-year-old Malachi Richardson as an adult with kidnapping and theft by taking. Charges Royalty's mom says he needs to face.
Because he's old enough to understand right from wrong. And then the fact that you went through and made a whole fake DoorDash account, ordered food, had tags, everything else. It was something you thought about, or maybe even done before.
So my man had tags to switch. Like, he brought tags to the crowd. He made a fake DoorDash account. Lured her there. Like, yeah. Steak and cheese fries, large soda. The DoorDasher gets there, he robs her. And let's just talk about the fact that she's doing DoorDash with her child in the back seat. I don't know what y'all want to do with that. Working mom, I can't be mad at her though. It's hard to find childcare. It's hard to find childcare, man. You don't even. I can't be mad at her for that. You know, she brought her kid to work, whatever. So this fool, he already got his tags. He gonna switch onto the car. Because this way the police are out there looking for, tag number. Probably, most likely a Georgia tag. They're looking for the make, the model, and the tag number. So he already knows to put some fake tags, not fake tags, but some tags, stolen tags on it. So when the police run it, when the police just look, they're going to be like, oh, that's not the car we're looking for. It's on Georgia tags. That's just another car in that make and model. And we all know how many Armadas there are out there on the streets. It's a lot of those. So, just a sophisticated criminal, man. Golly, man. Just a little kid.
This account, ordered food, had tags, everything else. It was something you thought about, or maybe even done before. Yes, I have.
What won't happen again, baby royalty tagging along with mom while she's working. A GoFundMe will pay for daycare. It's up to more than $27,000 so far.
She survived for a reason, and I'm just grateful for that.
This ordeal is something that will stick with this family, but they say there is a blessing that came out of it. They're all much closer, George.
Now, a 75-year-old woman was hurt in a random attack on Easter Sunday in Harlem. This violent confrontation was caught on camera.
And tonight we're hearing from the woman who was sucker punched. CBS 2's Natalie Dudridge has her story.
No exchange of words, just one hell of a punch in the face. It's got me all the way from the eye down to the jaw.
Judith Thomas says despite the pain from her bruised, swollen face, she is speaking out to help catch the suspect who attacked her out of nowhere. Watch the bottom left corner of your screen closely. Police say this man in a jean jacket ducked under scaffolding and punched Thomas in the face, knocking her down.
It's painful. One of my teeth went through my upper lip.
It happened yesterday around 3 p.m. as Thomas was walking to her sister's apartment near West 119th Street and Lenox Avenue. The suspect took off, but Thomas says Good Samaritans came to her aid.
They were wonderful. They got me water. They comforted me. They called the police. They called EMS.
Thomas says years ago she worked at Channel 9 News and feels like the city is slipping.
In the 70s and the 80s, when we had spiking crime, I was a reporter back in those days. It seems like we're going back to the bad old days.
So the city's slipping. Any ideas about why? Any comments on what's causing the city to slip? Oh yeah, and who did you vote for? Did you vote for de Blasio, AOC, and that a whole other Democratic leftist mob that's running New York into the ground? Are you part of the problem, ma'am? And is this an anti-white woman attack? Is this an anti-white attack? So many questions. So many questions. And does this shed light on the other attacks that happen on Asians? The fact that this happens to white people all the time? Like literally, all the time? And if this person wasn't 75 years old, you wouldn't have heard about it. If she was 60, you wouldn't have heard about it. They had to do something because it was a 75-year-old white woman. But this is the same thing that happens to Asians. Same things that happens to blacks. Everybody's getting attacked. And since we're going to ignore who's doing it, we're not going to talk about who's doing it. Can we at least talk about the fact that everybody's getting attacked? Fine, you don't want to say who's doing it. But can we at least admit that everybody's being attacked?
Thomas says years ago she worked at Channel 9 News and feels like the city is slipping.
In the 70s and the 80s, when we had spiking crime, I was a reporter back in those days. It seems like we're going back to the bad old days.
The suspect took off, but was later seen clearly on surveillance video standing near a group of outdoor diners. Residents say the city needs to improve mental health programs.
It's important that the government implements action into helping the people that actually needs to be helped.
A lot of people with mental illness should have their facilities available.
Despite what happened, Thomas doesn't want New Yorkers to walk around nervously.
They're not going to intimidate me, and I don't think they should intimidate anybody in this city. We can't let our streets be taken over by these criminals.
In fact, right after she spoke to CBS 2 News, Thomas went to get her COVID vaccine to start getting back to her life as a strong New Yorker. In Harlem, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2
News now. A plainclothes NYPD officer stops a racist attack in Chinatown. CBS 2 News has learned exclusively that Sharon Williams was arrested tonight, accused of harassing the Asian staff inside a nail salon on Madison Street. Police say she made slurs, threatened violence, and said, quote, "You brought the corona to this country." Williams was allegedly harassing another Asian person outside when a plainclothes officer, who also is Asian, intervened. She then allegedly started insulting the officer as well. Now, last month, the NYPD increased patrols in Asian communities as a strategy to prevent and stop anti-Asian attacks.
So now sisters is getting arrested for arguing with the staff at the nail salon. Wow. What a difference a year makes, man. Just a year ago, 2 years ago, there was protest outside the Asian hair salon, the beauty salon, and the protest. Every time a sister refused to pay for her nails or refused to pay for her products at the beauty supply store, there would be protests. And NAACP and Nation Islam, Black Lives Matter. Fast forward a year later, Stacey Abrams and black women helped you get your Democrats in power all over the country, including presidency. And now, you sisters cuss out one of these Asians in a goddamn nail salon and you get carried away in cuffs. And this story right here is very interesting. I want you guys to look at this. He was charged in an anti-Asian attack. It was his 33rd arrest. So this guy had been arrested for assaulting people and various other things in New York City. But it wasn't until he assaulted an Asian person was it an anti-Asian attack. The black people and the white people this guy assaulted throughout the years, no one cared. Okay? No one cared. It's the same thing as with the cops. Cops kill so many white people every year, no one cares. They kill a black person, it's looting and chaos in the streets. Wall-to-wall coverage on all the major networks. Black people, I hope you're starting to see what you put everybody else through. Now, you get killed, you get murdered, you get attacked, no one cares. A sister cusses out an Asian person, it makes the news. I feel like turnabout is fair play. It's karma, dare I say.
Yet we aren't getting a direct response from the state, at least not directly to what police are asking for, and that's the extra patrols. Now, THP did send us something earlier this week, just speaking in generalities, not addressing will they or won't they send those extra resources here. And so now police say they're taking things a step further and appealing directly to Governor Bill Lee. Tuesday evening around 6:30, 2 bullets go flying into the trunk of this car as a man drove it on I-40 near Appling. It's one of 36 shootings on Memphis highways this year. Memphis police have been maintaining a presence on highways for the past 2 years, trying to combat this, and recently putting even more officers on highway patrol.
We are pulling people from neighborhoods to put them on the interstate.
Last week, Police Director Michael Rawlings called on the Tennessee Highway Patrol to step up their patrols on Memphis highways. We asked the THP if they're doing this, but the most we could get them to say was that they'll continue to maintain high visibility across Tennessee, including interstates in Memphis. But that high visibility isn't visible enough for Memphis police.
We've been asking for support for a long time. We hadn't got what we wanted.
Rawlings says he'll now focus on asking Governor Lee for the extra patrols, acknowledging THP, like MPD, has only so many resources.
I know they're strapped by resources, but I think the governor is positioned to order THP to hire the additional staff they need to give Shelby County the attention that we deserve.
Attention the numbers would suggest Memphis clearly needs. So again, 36 shootings on Memphis highways this year and only 4 arrests. Police say in another 2 cases they have issued warrants but have not arrested those people they have warrants for yet. We also reached out to the governor's office tonight asking what he has to say about all this. We'll let you know if we get a response. We're live in the medical district. Luke Jones, WREG News Channel.
I would consider that a problem, man. An attack and a problem. These are attacks. 36 shootings on the highways in Memphis. Not in Tennessee. Memphis. Just think about that. 36 shootings on the highway in Memphis this year. 4 arrests. 4. Police begging for more resources, begging for help. It ain't coming. It's not coming.
The search continues for Memphis's next police director. We have learned the mayor hopes to have a candidate in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that after he extended the timeline to consider a new candidate to fill that job. WRG's April Thompson takes a look at a city in waiting as Memphis deals with more interstate shootings, gun crime, and also children being killed.
Filling the top spot of the Memphis Police Department, now pushed back as a new candidate is in the running. Turns out Durham Police Chief Sarah Lynn Davis had been on the short list before, but asked to be taken off and then be put back on.
It was for personal reasons related to some things happening with the city of Durham, who she's where she's currently chief of police, and she was looking for an opportunity to make sure that it was a good timeline and fit for her.
The head of Memphis Human Resources says it's no reflection on the other 7 candidates, and the mayor thought it fair to give her a chance. Pastor Bill Atkins is among those who will interview the new candidate, as he did the existing 7.
We gave him our recommendations, and of course now we thought that was it with those 7, but we're quite surprised that an 8th one has shown up.
Atkins says the police director's position is important, especially right now.
I want a police chief that is not so worried about the blue line, but the human line. Not so worried about what other policemen think, but let's do the job right, let's keep people safe, and let's respect people's lives.
Yeah, because that's who's killing people and shooting people on the highway in Memphis. That's who's killing kids. That's who's shooting employees at the fucking fast food joint. The police. And this guy's going to be he's one of the people who's in charge of determining who's going to be the next police chief.
I want a police chief that is not so worried about the blue line, but the human line. Not so worried about what other policemen think, but let's do the job right, let's keep people safe, and let's respect people's lives, and let's not harm people for no reason at all.
And with Memphis facing a rash of interstate shootings, kids being killed by gunfire, and now new laws allowing easier access to guns, finding someone to tackle those issues will be crucial.
The police director that's coming into Memphis is going to be left with an even more complicated problem because of gun legislation.
It's why many have called and continue to call for more community involvement in the selection of a police director.
There are communities in this city that are disproportionately and deeply impacted by how we police and who polices us. And there was not a mechanism that I'm aware of for those people to be heard. The people who hear gunshots, the people who have high violent crime rates in their communities.
This police director is going to probably be the most important decision that we've made for a police director in a long time.
April Thompson, WREG News Channel 3.
No word tonight on when the new police director candidate will be interviewed, but the city hopes to have the mayor's recommendation for the city council vote by its next meeting.